Sister Leader, have you felt drained like you were running on empty and just going through the motions? Today, we're exploring how to reclaim your strength and vitality through physical wellness. Simple, powerful steps to help you feel more energized, confident, and alive. Welcome to the Inspired Well Minded Woman podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Denise, your wellness mindset and resilience coach. And today, we're diving into the powerful role of physical wellness in creating a healthier, more vibrant life. Physical wellness is about so much more than just exercising or dieting. It's about taking care of your body so you can live with energy, confidence, and purpose. In this episode, I'll share practical tips along with my own experiences to help you reconnect with your physical health and discover how even small changes can transform the way you feel every day. Physical wellness is about nurturing, nourishing, and strengthening your body so it can support you in all that you do. When we neglect our bodies and you neglect your bodies, we start to feel the effects of low energy, increased stress, more aches and pains, and even lack of motivation. But when we prioritize our health, it sets us up to handle life's challenges with more resilience and vitality. So think of physical wellness as the fuel for your entire wellness journey. When you take care of your body, you're also supporting your mental and your emotional well being. And if you just think about it, anytime where you have just worn yourself out and neglected your physical well being, you are more stressed. You may experience more aches and pains. I know the women that I have worked with and guided on their wellness journey, they've often talked about the increased achiness in their body, as well as how they're mentally not fully there or focused. So, this is an area that affects other parts of our well being that we may not even be aware of and think those things are just normal or contribute the effects of neglecting our physical wellness as part of the aging process, and that's not true, and it doesn't have to be so for you. So, Sister Leader, how often do you feel too exhausted to focus on yourself? This is the normal thing I hear many women say, and it can be a real thing for many. Maybe you're giving so much of your time to your pursuit of career, growing your business, your family, your friends, your social life, or other responsibilities that you barely have enough energy left for your own health. Well, it feels like you're just pushing through day after day and the stress keeps piling up. Excuse me, draining your confidence, your peace, and your sense of well being. See, I know the feeling, and it doesn't feel good to be feeling worn out and drained and fatigued all the time. And there was a time in my life when I relied so much on coffee and sheer determination just to keep going, but it left me disconnected and constantly tired. See, that was a time when I was in pursuit of more financial success. See, Sister Leader, has there ever been a time in your life when you felt like your body just couldn't keep up with the demands of daily living, with the demands and the commitments that you had for yourself? See, maybe you were constantly tired, relying on caffeine as I did, or quick fixes and always eating on the go just to get through the day. See, I've been there and working like crazy, crazy hours, grinding to build my business. And the first thing that I sacrificed was my sleep because I worked far more hours pursuing the entrepreneurial path than I did when I worked in the workforce. And I sacrificed my sleep and my workout exercise routine. Those were the first two that I negotiated with and always thought there was more time, or that I had put in enough time in exercising right and taking care of my body in the past that it was enough to sustain me in my present situation. But that's not necessarily true. We adapt to conditions, and that was something that I did not want to adapt to, but didn't know it at the time. And that's something that you don't necessarily have to adapt to as it sacrifices your own physical and emotional well-being. So think I would think of myself, I would think to myself that I would always catch up on my exercise tomorrow. Have you ever felt that? Say, I'll start tomorrow. But in my own reality, and I don't know if this is true for you, you can comment and let me know that tomorrow would always come, and tomorrow kept coming, and tomorrow kept going. It was never, tomorrow never became today, or at least it didn't for me for a very long time in that period of my life where I had I put other things at a higher priority than my own physical and mental health and well-being. So I was focused on greater financial success, as so many of us have done in our lives, and so many people continue to do. And how better my life would be, my quality of life would be for me and my family once I made it. Now, what is it? Is that a dollar amount? Is it a status? What is it as it pertains to financial success? And is it ever really enough? You see, so it got to a point where everyone I was around, heck, every entrepreneur and small business CEO that I came in contact with, every strong woman I know was doing something similar in terms of sacrificing their physical well-being to get other things done. Other things were higher priority on their to-do list, and each of us were at the bottom, and that is stressful, right? And so when we neglect our physical well-being without even realize the impact that it has on our overall health, mental and physical, and even spiritual well-being, is quite taxing. And oftentimes we don't realize it until it's too late. Sometimes, depending on who we are connected to and surrounded with, there are indications that we may need to change sooner than later. But oftentimes, it is when it's too late, and the only way up is to really to refocus and reevaluate our priorities. So it's interesting how easy it is to lose sight of your real purpose and your reason for even getting into business or pursuing greater financial success. It's easy how you can lose sight of your purpose when money is the only measure of result and reward that you focus on. Now, I'm not saying the focus of money or the desire for greater financial wealth and stability is a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is when that becomes the sole measure of living your best life, when that becomes the sole measure of feeling confident within yourself, when that becomes the measure of you doing well and being healthy, then we have missed the mark. And there are so many other pillars that are being ignored and sacrificed. And I can tell you in my own experience that I was devastated when, for that period of time, I allowed it to be the focus and result that I was looking for. And when I lost everything and realized that my health and peace of mind was detrimentally compromised because I had ignored it in the time and during the time of pursuing and building my business, and I was giving my time and energy to everything and everybody else, oh my gosh, I had never felt so stressed. And I'm telling you, having been in the military, the Marine Corps specifically, and to know that the stress that comes with living the military life and the stress that comes with being a law enforcement officer, a police officer, losing sight of my own well-being in so many other areas other than physical was very devastating and extremely detrimental. And so that experience had led me to prioritize my health in a whole new way. It wasn't until I started making physical wellness a priority again and that I saw the real shift in my energy and in my confidence. And what led me to really reevaluate was I was at a point of in my physical health where I was rock bottom and I was getting these reports from the doctor that wasn't very pleasing. I didn't expect to get these types of reports from the doctor because I'd always been in great physical health. And it wasn't until I started getting these reports of concern and, always going to the doctor for these aches and pains that I realized that I needed to change. And so when I started to reflect on what was I doing before that worked, when I was constantly in better health, beyond the fact that I was younger, the answer was evident. My professions in the military, you have to maintain certain weight and shape and physical condition in order to do the job, right? In order to be taken seriously. In law enforcement, you have to maintain a certain physical ability. And if you want to be respected in these streets and among your peers, you have to show up a certain way. So in my career paths, my physical well-being was like a professional requirement. And that was the very thing that I let lapse in pursuit of entrepreneurship and greater financial success. And so after I did that reflection, what I was able to say, okay, something has to change. Something has to change. And I have to go back to doing the thing that worked that I gave up on, that I compromised and pushed on the back burner because I thought I could. I thought I'd done it for so long that it wasn't going to affect me, right? But that was the wrong attitude and mindset for me to have. And so I want to encourage you and let you know here today that you have the power to choose you. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. You have the power to choose you. Reclaiming your physical wellness doesn't require a complete overhaul. It doesn't require you being in the kitchen and meal prepping for a whole month. You don't have to do it the way everybody else does it, but you do have the power to choose you and do it a way that suits your lifestyle, starting with small steps that fit into your lifestyle. As I said before, there's no one size fit all. And you have to find out what will work for you and the quality of life that you really want to live at this stage in your life, in this chapter of your life. One of the things I often hear women talk about and people talk about is wanting to go back to a time, wanting to be themselves, a past self is the best way I can say it, who they were back then. And I'm sorry to tell you, but you'll never be who you were back then if you want to continue to grow. But what you can do, and I encourage you to do, is be your best self now. Start working on who you want to become by being that now, by taking care of yourself and prioritizing your physical wellness. See, here's a quick tip for you. If you just focus on moving more, right? You may say, as I've heard, oh, countless times before, I'm already active during my day. I'm walking from building to building, or I'm walking from meeting to meeting throughout my day. No, I'm not talking about what your body is already accustomed to doing that you do day in and day out. That's not moving more, right? That's just the regular movement that you get to move through your day. I'm talking about being intentional. And it doesn't have to be long. Your workouts, your exercise doesn't have to be long. I encourage you to start with a 15-minute walk. Start with some light stretching or dance to your favorite song. When is the last time you put on your favorite song, your playlist, and you just danced? And do it like we did when we were younger. We danced in the club until our outfits were drenched with sweat. It was fun. It was exciting. That's what we went to do. I haven't done that in ages. Of course, I exercise regularly. Um, Exercise is a form of therapy as well. But I tell you, if you just start with 15 minutes a day, whether it's dancing, stretching, or walking, it will do wonders for your energy and reduce your stress levels. So, another great tip that I want to share is to pay attention to how you nourish and nurture your body. See, there's a misconception that self care is going to get your nails done, getting your hair done, buying an outfit, and going out to brunch. No, those things are good ways to treat yourself, and some of that is just grooming. Okay. However, if you would think of self-care, of taking care of yourself from the inside out, the rewards will be greater and more sustainable. So one of the other things to nurture yourself is what you're giving your time to. What are you focused on? Are you watching shows that uplift you, that make you laugh, right? That's good for the soul. Laughter is good for the soul. Are you taking the time that you need to de-stress yourself daily, whether it's time to be still and to breathe? All that's part of your physical wellness as well as your emotional well-being. But in this particular episode, we're discussing physical wellness. So some of the things that you do in one area also intertwine with other pillars of wellness. And so you owe it to yourself to give yourself a chance to nurture and nourish yourself well, to give so you can show up a more confident, healthier, and stronger you. So are you relying on coffee or quick snacks? Because I encourage you to rethink that as well, right? There's opportunity there that if you just meal prep, I meal prep now weekly. Whereas, like many others, when they started out meal prepping, I'd be online looking at videos on people who are meal prepping, right? The food looks good, it's in containers, it's portioned out, and they put it in the freezer until they need it. Well, I tried that. I'm going to be honest with you, I was stressed the heck out. It did not work for me. First of all, I don't like to cook. Okay, that's not a strong suit of mine. Thank goodness it is not on the well-minded life self-assessment, so no big deal. But I don't enjoy cooking like some people in the kitchen, and they're just in their sweet spot, blending spices and rubbing on meat and searing and frying it. Like, no, no, just let me know when the food is ready, okay? So I would watch videos because I was like, okay, in order to take care of my wellness and to nurture and nourish my body well, I need to meal prep so it could be ready. And, no excuses. I'm doing this. All I could do is laugh just thinking about it right now because it was a total disaster. Okay. I did it. I kept trying. I didn't want to give up right away. So I would say probably 6 weeks in, um because I never made it to a month of meal prepping. That just didn't work for me, right? So I did as many, maybe 10 days at a time. So about 6 to 8 weeks in, first of all, if I prepared the food and froze the food, I didn't eat the food because I was like, oh, I want something different now, or I forgot to thaw it out enough time. So that just didn't work for me. And then I was like, there's got to be another way. Plus, I don't eat anything over past 3 days old that I cook. So if somebody else cooks it, it's like 2 days, right? And depending on where who it is and where I get it from. And so it was a disaster. I was like, this doesn't work with for me. I was totally frustrated all the time trying to do what I saw people doing successfully online with meal prepping. But it was like, hey, they probably like to cook. This is probably a strong area for them, where for me, it was not. So I had to figure out what worked for me. And the small changes that I did to help me feel stronger was to do it according to my lifestyle. So I encourage you to do things and to make small changes to help you feel stronger, more energized, and ready to take on the day. One way that you can do this is by taking a self assessment to see where you are on your wellness journey, what areas you're strong in, and what areas really need more attention. Now, it's not that you focus on all areas at once, but you focus on the area that really needs more attention. And what happens is when you focus on the weaker area, it will help boost you and enhance the other areas in your life. Okay, so I challenge you to take the Well Minded Life self assessment. It's a free assessment I created. You answer a few questions in each of the sections just to locate where you are. You get to rate yourself from 1 to 10. And I tell you, even though I created the self assessment, when I took the assessment, I was surprised on how I rated myself, because I realized in my mind, I thought I was a 9 and 10 in certain areas. But when I sat down to take the assessment, I realized, oh, well, maybe I'm not as strong in these areas as I thought, because I am doing worse in an area that also impacts in other areas that I thought I was doing better in. And so it becomes a reality check and helps you to see where you need to focus, or on those areas that you have neglected more, how it also impact the other areas that you believe that you're stronger in. So I want to encourage you, sister leader, to take the assessment and share with us one of the changes that you're going to make this week to help you feel stronger and more energized. Leave it in the comments below, and feel free to use the hashtag well-minded leader so we can connect and I can read your comments and we can support each other on this journey. Because I'm telling you, if you're a strong woman like me, and if you're a well-minded woman as I am, then oftentimes you feel like it is a solo journey. And the reason we feel so like it's a solo journey, at least in my case, is because there are very few people around me who are doing the same thing. And unless I go to where people are already doing it. And so it can feel like a, a, a lonesome journey if no one else in your circle is doing the same thing. And I can tell you, from experience, and I hear it all the time. I've seen people fall off their physical wellness journey, their health and wellness journey, because they wanted to bring somebody along the journey with them. And they pulled from proximity. Who are their friends? Who are their family that do not share in the same goals as they have? And what happens is you tend to fall off track because the person that was motivated to come along doesn't have the motivation to sustain, and their goals and their purpose for doing it are different from yours. So I always tell people to go where people are doing it. And if you're here and you want to do it, you're definitely in the right place. I've been on my wellness journey for 12 plus years. I started I kicked it off again in my late 30s, around 40 years, 38, 40 years old. And I've been on it ever since. And I can tell you, it's not about being perfect. Okay. It's about making progress. Because for me, when I started again after letting myself go, once I got back on my journey, it was like starting all over again. Never mind all the sports and exercise that I've done in years previous for all those years. None of that mattered when I started again. So be encouraged as you start if you're starting again, or if you were one to start and stop and you have your pause has been longer than a month. Give yourself some grace as you embark upon your physical wellness journey again. Um, you are definitely worth taking the step in that direction. But don't think of it as, oh, well, I used to be able to do this, so I should be able to do it now. No, remember, our bodies also adapt. We are adaptable beings. And so your body has now adapted to what you have done, the lifestyle you live. If you're more sedentary, you sit a lot, you're not as active, your body's already adjusted. So to become more physically active, your body now has to adjust. And that is going to take some time. It can be shorter time if you're more consistent. So I encourage you to be more consistent, but you're in the right place. You're in good company on this journey. So let's support each other on this journey to reclaim our vitality and confidence. So if you're ready to own your wellness journey and take control of your health, if you're ready to distress your life and feel more confident once again, I invite you to join me on the Step into Your Best Self 30-day walk to wellness waitlist. You want to get on that wait list. And just know that this isn't just a challenge. This is a step into reclaiming your health and fitness. Now, I decided to relaunch this challenge because the women I continue to meet, they want to do it with people who are serious about it. And they want a what some people may call a workout buddy, or someone that will support them that's like them. Okay. And so I figured this would be a great way to relaunch this challenge for us to, in our respective areas, states, countries, to find a way to connect and support each other because we are truly not alone out here. And I've learned that over time throughout my wellness journey. Now, full transparency, I've never really felt alone because I've always been a self starter when it came to my physical health and well being. Now, in the time where I put it on the back burner, I was encouraged to get back into the swing of things because I lived with, I was battling with chronic pain at that time. It just didn't make sense to me in my mind to work out when I was in so much pain. And it was through the encouragement of my daughter who encouraged me to get back at it. And I did. So I'm encouraging you to not delay, to get back at it, join the wait list. So when this challenge launches, that you'll be the first to know and you can be right in there with us, sharing your wins, your successes, and telling us how you feel and seeing all the support that you will get from those who will join us as well. So whether your goal is to reduce stress, gain energy, or kickstart your weight loss journey, this 30-day experience is designed to help you take real lasting steps forward. So let's take our wellness to the next level together. Secure your spot on the wait list through the link that you should find in the show notes, in the description, and let's walk this path to our best selves together. Sister leader, physical wellness is the foundation to living a life full of energy, confidence, and resilience. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about the process, enjoying the process. It's about making small, consistent choices to support your well-being. And I'm honored to walk this journey with you. Remember to join us every Wednesday for another episode. And as we continue to prioritize our wellness, let's soar higher together. That's all for now.